Living carpets of rippers squirm across the ground wherever the Tyranid hives advance. Little more than simple eating machines, everyone and everything should fear these cute little creatures. In this video, we'll be painting a Tyranid ripper swarm in the colours of Highfleet Leviathan to battle ready. We'll also be adding a few extra techniques to take your models to the next level. And by following this guide, you can actually paint the rest of your unit too. If you're new to painting, you can check out the Citadel Colour Painting Essentials videos to learn more about paints and techniques. The paints we'll be using are on the screen right now. Remember that we're painting to match the box art, but you can paint your models however you like. Any additional equipment we've used is also on the screen, but feel free to use whatever brushes you're most comfortable with. And if you don't have mediums, you can swap these out for water instead. The first thing we need to do is undercoat the model, and for this colour scheme we've used Wraithbone. It is a nice warm undercoat that will get us ready for the contrast colours we'll be using. We'll start by applying a base coat of Wraithbone over the model. This just gives us an overall finish that will match the pot in case we need to tidy up any sections, as the spray has a slightly different finish. You'll just need one thin coat to fully cover over, so don't worry about being neat at this stage. Just make sure you get all of those membranes and the undersides of the models covered. Now we'll add a thinned down layer of Magos Purple. We'll combine 2 parts Contrast Medium to 1 part Magos Purple to give us a great colour to settle into those recesses but not overwhelm the upper areas of the skin. We'll be applying this all over so we get into every recess and under those carapace edges, so don't worry about being neat at this stage. Just make sure that contrast doesn't pool too heavily, as we want a nice light pinky purple tone to the skin. After it's dried, you can reapply Wraithbone to any areas that either are larger, flatter or smoother to tidy up any heavy contrast. As a quick extra easy detail, we can add a cheeky dry brush of Corax White over the model. We are doing this now so we can be messy before we paint the smaller details. By using circular motions, we can get all of those raised points covered without being too heavy-handed. This is a subtle effect, so if you want more definition, you can apply a second dry brush. Just don't apply too much pressure, or you can end up with a lumpy, unwanted texture. Next, we'll use Naggaroth Night for the carapace armour and the tongues. Remember to thin this paint down as it is a base paint, and apply multiple thin layers to build up to a solid colour. Just take your time, as if we make mistakes now, it takes more time to tidy up these tiny models. So the smallest brush you have is the best for the job. Now we can move on to Abaddon Black for the claws. You can also darken down the eye sockets with this colour too. Just like with Naggaroth Night, we want to thin this paint down and apply it in the same way. You can also paint the insides of any open mouths and teeth to help define the area for the next paint. Next we'll paint those teeth with Corax White and a small layer brush. Picking out the teeth now will help them stand back out from that black base coat, finishing off a lot of detail with very little work. By using Abaddon Black earlier, it really helps the Corax White teeth stand out even more, making our models look way more creepy. This step shouldn't take too long, but there are many small, sharp, pointy teeth. And to finish off these little beasties, we'll be painting the eyes with Flashgitz Yellow. By using a small layer brush, we can get into those smaller areas and avoid getting the yellow on the skin and the carapace. Just make sure you have a good point on your small layer brush and keep that paint flowing. Your Ripper Swarm is now battle ready. You can stop here if you wish, or you can carry on and add these extra cool details to take your model to the next level. Now we'll add a bit of definition to that carapace armour with an easy highlight of Slaanesh Grey. We can do this by thinning down the paint and applying it in small choppy lines around the edge of the carapace plates. You can see it gives more of a natural highlight than normal, giving a chipped chitin effect. So thin your paint and roll your brush onto the palette to control the amount of paint and keep that point on the brush. After that first highlight is dry, we'll add another simple highlight to the claws with Thunderhawk Blue. Just follow the same steps as we did with the Slaanesh Grey, with thinning the paint and bringing your brush to a point, and you're ready to go. We don't need to highlight every edge or detail, so we'll pick out the most prominent or visible. And there we are, your Tyranid Ripper swarm is finished and ready to burrow into their prey, shredding flesh and bone in their wake. There are some small base details that have also been painted. You can use Leadbelcher for the reinforcement bars and Mechanicus Standard Grey for the stone. You can also see that our swarm is based using Armageddon Dust, and if you'd like to learn more about technical paints, you can check out our video all about them. For more tutorials, tips and tricks, check out citadelcolour.com or head to your local Warhammer store where our amazing staff will be happy to help you. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video and we'll see you next time. Bye bye!